Tonight, we're also hearing from a Miami-Dade sheriff's deputy who was arrested for allegedly attacking a woman he met at a popular Miami nightclub.
A few moments later.
Represented at all times that she was a woman, when in fact she was a man, meaning that she still had male anatomy.
Suzy Rivero Ayala, Chala's attorney, says the woman lied to the officer about her gender and he wanted her out.
So this police lieutenant goes to a club, finds an attractive woman, takes her back to the house, and finds out she's not really a woman. She's got kibbles and bits, and things go to hell. Let's talk about it. This is 54-year-old Daniel Chalua. He's a Miami-Dade police lieutenant with over 30 years of experience on the force. Now, on April 28th, 2025, he goes to 11 Nightclub in Miami.
My soul.
Now, while at the nightclub, he meets a beautiful young woman that is okay with going back to his home. So Lieutenant Chala believes that he has hit the jackpot and he's gonna go home and start clapping cheeks.
Chala met a woman at the bar. They began to converse. She told police she said she was leaving when he asked her to come to his place because, quote, he lives alone. That when they arrived to the apartment, things began to get intimate. The victim tells police things took a turn when Chala began to choke her. She says she asked him to stop and that she was able to get away.
So Chala is at home with what he believes to be a woman. They start kissing and hugging, it sounds like, and he hits the kibbles in bits and finds out, whoa, she's not a woman. She identifies as a woman. That's a big difference.
Represented at all times that she was a woman, when in fact she was a man, meaning that she still had male anatomy.
Suzy Rivero Ayala, Chala's attorney, says the woman lied to the officer about her gender and he wanted her out.
So obviously Chala is in shock at the moment when he finds out his date wasn't really a woman, but just identifying as a woman, and got pretty upset. The transgender woman then called police, claiming that Chala assaulted her. Check it out.
We just met, we came back to my place of residence.
Okay.
And that's it.
And what happened inside?
Nothing.
So you guys didn't argue?
No, we didn't argue.
You just stated that you did?
I just kicked her out.
This is the moment Daniel Chala, Miami-Dade County deputy of more than 30 years, is questioned by police at his apartment after a night out at 11.
Why did you kick her out?
Because I didn't care for her.
Why didn't you care for her?
Because I didn't like her.
Okay. Did something happen inside that made you not like her,
There
or
was
that made
no
you kick her
violence
off?
whatsoever.
Chala denies being violent to his guest. The records show he went home with a woman who accused him of wrapping his arm around her neck tightly and refusing to let her go. The woman, who eventually ran out to get help, records show was seen by witnesses bleeding from the mouth and with marks.
You guys are like standing here like if I assaulted her. I did not assault her.
Chala was arrested
Turn around. Don't resist.
for allegedly battering and preventing the woman from leaving.
Because you seem intoxicated.
I am intoxicated, but
Okay.
the thing is that I never assaulted her.
Now, Chala was arrested and he was arraigned by a judge for the battery of this transgendered woman.
Good morning, Mr. Shella.
Today, a judge dropped one of his charges,
Count one, there's no probable cause for false imprisonment.
giving him a $1,000 bond for battery.
I did not squeeze that woman's neck like the way she said.
Now, because of the bad publicity, the police department decided to put the lieutenant on leave until this whole thing was resolved.
A Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office lieutenant relieved of duty after an assault arrest is expected to be arraigned. Daniel Chala says he plans to fight the charge. A woman who Chala met at the Miami nightclub 11 claims he restrained and choked her in his apartment. Chala has been in law enforcement for 31 years. He was released on a $1,000 bond. The sheriff's office says he was relieved of duty with pay.
So Daniel Chala said he's going all the way. He wants a jury to decide his fate. But the victim said, well, hold on. I don't know if I want to tell the story of how I'm going to this club and tricking men into thinking that I'm a woman when I'm not really. So she stopped cooperating.
But today, about a month after this arrest, prosecutors cleared Chala of any crimes. The state attorney's office tells NBC6 after numerous attempts to get the victim to cooperate, she refused to assist with the investigation.
This person came in under false pretenses, and my client escorted this person out.
Now, Chala doesn't have anything else to worry about. His job may be in jeopardy, but in terms of criminal charges, this case is over. And this is one of those cases where you have the law, but then you have people who have to dispense the law. What do I mean by that? Well, if you are on that jury and you hear these facts, a man goes to this club, he meets this attractive woman who he believes is a woman, they get intimate, it's all under false pretenses. She says that she's a woman, she pretends that she's a woman, he believes she's a woman, he's drunk, and then lo and behold, you get cuddled up, and all of a sudden, you find out, hold on, this is a bro and not a hoe. Could you find this 30-year veteran of the police force guilty based on the incident, based on the allegations that you heard, assuming the witness comes off as credible? Now, to be quite honest with you, to me, this is a he said, she said. He's a 30-year veteran of the force, and she clearly tried to manipulate him and got something she didn't intend on receiving. But you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. And I would kind of call this a wash. I would be a hard not guilty. But because I'm saying that, I would be called a transphobe. Now, this is obviously different than a case that we covered last year where the same thing happened, but the guy shot the trans person.
He told police she approached him for a sexual encounter, but he began to feel, quote, suspicious.
I'm thinking he thought it was a girl. It's like, oh man, yeah. She just said if I want to get sucked off, man, this must be my lucky day. Yeah. Starts getting sucked off, and he's like, wait a minute. That should be a red flag somewhere. Them hands.
Well, that guy was rightfully convicted of murder. But what about this other story where they had the reality show where they fooled all these men into believing this was a woman, but surprise, at the end of the show, the twist was, hey guys, you guys have been making out with another guy.
Well, in the bay, there's a luxury cruiser waiting for you and Miriam with £10,000. But before you claim the prize, Miriam has something to say.
Guys, I'm not a woman. I was born as a man.
As soon as she said, I am not a woman, all the boys started to laugh, and that's when I thought, shit.
Now, should this type of deceit be a crime? Should a trans person be forced at the beginning to tell you, hey, listen, I'm not what you think. I identify as a woman, but I'm not really a woman. And then what about those who do lie? Should they just be able to escape all consequences? Is it just part of the game? Now, back to our original story. I think, again, if I was on that jury, I'm saying not guilty unless you have something else. If you could tell me this cop absolutely knew and just went along with it and got upset or something, but it doesn't seem like that happened. It seems like he was honestly fooled. He got a little upset, kicked her out of the house, and she cried assault. So it just is what it is. And I think any reasonable person who's put in that situation would be upset and would probably be trying to get that person out of their house immediately, because you're not trying to treat them as a woman anymore, because you know they're not. You're probably like, how would I treat a dude in this situation? And I think that's what the lieutenant did. But as always, tell me whoever in the comment section, say, Nate, you're a transphobe. So I would just disagree with you. I think you can live your life the way you want to. I believe in that freedom. But I believe when you start fooling people into intimate relationships in this particular way, you're asking for trouble. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out. Peace.